Welcome to another episode of Behind the Business, presented by Gore Mutual. Today's episode is also sponsored by BDC as we celebrate BDC Small Business Week. I'm your host, Ian McLean, President and CEO of the Greater Kitchener-Waterloo Chamber of Commerce. This podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Each episode, I sit down for candid conversations where we go beyond the boardroom and behind the business to uncover the real stories within Waterloo Region's business community. Today's episode is sponsored by BDC, the Bank for Canadian Entrepreneurs, as we celebrate BDC Small Business Week from October 19th to 25th. Each day we're spotlighting a different small business owner from our community, the people who power our local economy, create jobs, and bring innovation to life. We're also excited to have this year's theme focus on the economic revolution and getting your business ready. Today, we're sitting down with Paul Brosnan of Atum Financial Services. After nearly 2 decades working in corporate finance across industries like manufacturing, healthcare, and automotive, Paul followed his passion for helping businesses and individuals thrive financially. Through Atum, he provides guidance, clarity, and confidence for clients navigating complex financial decisions, helping them plan for growth and long-term success. We'll dive into the insights Paul's gained over his career and how he's using that expertise to guide others towards financial success. Join me as we go behind the business with Paul Brosnan. Well, we're excited to have you here today. I know, as with most business owners, time is probably your most valuable commodity. So thank you for sharing some of your time with us and joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having us. It's great.
So let's start at the beginning. This podcast is a lot about the entrepreneurial story and about the business story, but it's also about leadership. So we kind of blend the two together as we go through our chat this morning. But let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the business and how it came to be.
Yeah, I spent about 10 years in healthcare before the firm got started. And it was just, we had a lot of network friends, family who would come to me for advice. And I thought, the small, medium-sized business owner, which makes up 98% of the economy, that's where I need to spend my time. I don't need to be in this big company. Didn't have a lot more room to grow. So I thought, I'm going to take my own little venture, become an entrepreneur, and help other business owners based on what I do, my schooling, my education, my experience. So my partner and I, Annie, we decided to start the firm up in 2010, 2011. So we're celebrating our 15th year. We're a RPA accounting firm, registered professional accounting firm, similar to a CPA. And our goal was just to get some business in, help small business owners, medium-sized business owners with their accounting needs. But that's now evolved to 15 staff, 3 offices, clients across Canada. But again, our focus hasn't changed, right? How do we help the small, medium-sized business owner succeed? Our accounting industry has been very what I call in that compliance mode. Give me your year end, give me your books, let's deal with HST, it's personal tax time. We still do all those type of activities we need to based on what the CRA tells us to do. But our real focus has been more looking at the windshield of the car or the business and being sort of that strategic partner in that passenger side to really help guide them on structure, strategy.
So beyond the numbers, the other parts of being successul business.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Listen, when you think back to the early days when you get started, because some of this is as we go through BDC Small Business Week and it's Small Business Month and celebrating entrepreneurs is getting started is always one of the hardest parts of going business. I've started a business. I think everyone would say if they knew now what they knew now, they probably wouldn't have gone down the road because it could be a challenge. But what was the biggest learning curve or surprise about running your own business as you got started?
You can't do it all yourself. How many hats am I going to actually wear? We're focused on trying to save money, save costs. It's a brand new company. I don't have a lot of cash. So I'm going to be the sales guy. I'm going to be the accountant. I'm going to be the bookkeeper. I'm going to be the, drywaller, whatever it's going to be. And I think we take on too much at times when we start off our business trying to get things off the ground rather than building out the key people on your team that you need to have to help grow that business.
Yeah, you gotta pick what is the part that makes you most valuable to the business. Small business owners wear lots of hats. And you just reference that. Which are the ones you're going to pick off? Like you want the HR hat or the business development hat or the finance hat. What have you learned about yourself as a leader or an entrepreneur through the process? Like, so sometimes it's people saying, I know what I like to do. And so that's what they choose. Sometimes it's that I'm the expert because I'm the rocket scientist and we're a rocket company. So therefore I need to do that. What is the part that you've learned most about the many hats that you wear?
Yeah, I think for me, the client-customer interaction, that advisory strategy, is where I fit.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, we have to do corporate tax returns and personal tax returns. I don't like doing them.
Yeah.
Right. But we have to for our firm.
Yeah.
But I've got staff now, and I've got the people in place to do the stuff that we need to do to still support the client base, and I get to play in the lane.
Yeah.
that I'm good at.
Yeah. Well, that's wise because you get others that can do the things you don't like to do and you're not good at doing. You've developed a relationship with BDC, and I mean they're great partners of ours at the chamber, and for lots of different reasons. You know, their advisory capacity, but they're complementary lending for businesses. Talk about your relationship with BDC. Because it's unique to every business, right? And that's the one thing I think it's important for anyone listening is it doesn't matter what your business is. BDC has, whether it's to buy bricks and mortar because you're a manufacturing facility, whether it's financing to help you grow into a new market. They have a lot of those, and their risk profile is a little different than traditional banks. Talk about your relationship with BDC and how it started. And how they've been able to support you in growing your business.
Absolutely. Great partner for our firm.
Yeah.
You know, I learned in the first year of starting the firm that I had clients with growth strategies. They wanted to acquire commercial property. They had growth aspirations. I'm not a banker, though. Mm-hmm. And I felt when I went to the bigger banks at first, you know, the rules and the approval process was very tough. So I reached out to BDC. I heard about what they can do. So I reached out in my first year of operations in the firm, we reached out to them and said, I've got a couple clients looking for some projects we need some help with. Mm-hmm. What can we do? Had them over for a coffee, introduced the client, and I realized I'm going to encounter this more and more often, right? As I continue to grow the firm, it engaged with my clients' needs and that strategy, that vision I talked about. Mm-hmm. I need a financing partner to be able to support my firm when these come up, where I can pick up the phone and say, hey, I got a client with a project.
Yep.
Can you come over and have a conversation with them and let's see where this can go? That's what we've now built over the last 14 years with BDC. Love Josh to death. You know, him and I went out for lunch a few months ago just to sort of catch up and talk about what's going on with the firm, what's going on at BDC. But BDC is really my first call. Yeah. Has been for 14 years when it comes to partnering and getting a solution for our clients on financing.
So they actually, for you, almost are a business partner for your clients, as opposed to, as well as possibly financing some of your own actual operations, but they play both roles for you.
Absolutely,
yeah,
without a doubt.
And that's important. And I think Josh and his team and the BDC team here that's what they do is develop, and they're very engaged in the community. And I think that's great because not enough people know that BDC can be a real true partner to them as especially small and medium sized business as they're thinking in growth. That it's important to have a partner who sees the risk profile may be a little higher, but the upside is there as well, and that's what BDC is there to do, is to help you with that next step.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, entrepreneurs, and this sort of ties together as a follow on to that question. Entrepreneurs don't succeed alone. Most successful ones lean into collaboration and with other businesses, local partners, and organizations like BDC. How have those relationships and mentors that have helped you, or the financial resources that you've needed along the way, helped get you where your company is today?
Yeah, I think we're lucky in our industry where, our client interaction is with clients in many different industries. And so what we've also done is we've sort of made our clients almost a referral network. You're almost part of a family. So if I need an insurance person, I know who to call. If I need a roofer, I know who to call. If I need somebody to, I've been lucky, with the client base we've got, so that I can use that. If a client comes to me and says, I need some help on HR, I'm not an HR person, but I know who to call. I need some business insurance. I don't do business insurance, but I know who to call. I need some financing, I know who to call.
Yeah.
Right? So, over the last 15 years, we've built our network and our relationships and our family model so that we can support the firm, support the client base, whether it's a personal client, corporate client, with our network. I can introduce you to people rather than trying to Google a website developer. I got one that I know that can maybe help you. So it's not just about doing the accounting and being an accountant, but utilizing that network and that family that we've grown over the 15 years to help support each other in different business communities.
So, for yourself though, in growing your own business, did you have mentors like when you decided? So you were in the thing. You said, "I want to start my own business." Did you have someone that? Because it's always important to have someone that will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And say, well, that's really not that great an idea, or you may want to think about that. Did you have mentors that helped you as you started, and it's because it's daunting for anyone when you start a business.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much skill you have, it always is. So, did you have mentors that helped you through that initial stage?
I would say that I had family. So my father was a huge mentor for me when I wanted to start this. I had some family members said, "You're crazy. You got a great job. You got a salary and a bonus and a car allowance and you got a director title. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?" I felt that I needed to move on. I felt I was stuck. I felt I could do more. I had goals. I got no patience. I'm stubborn. So off I wanted to go. And throughout my life, my dad's always been a good mentor and sounding board for me.
Yeah.
And I had other, business friends that had their own businesses that I've spoken to, other ventures that I would maybe want to dabble with a few other individuals. And I had the itch and got some advice. And, be careful, Paul, what you wish for at times, right? And that's true. Be careful what you wish for.
Canada's economy is changing fast. An economic revolution is underway, and your business is at the heart of it. AI is transforming the way we work. Global trade is shifting. Interprovincial barriers are falling. Thousands of businesses are about to change hands, and new investments are taking shape. This isn't a small shift. It's a real economic revolution. Business as usual? That's no longer an option. The future belongs to those who dare, who innovate, who make productivity a priority, who get ready for what's next and take action now. This Small Business Week, we celebrate the entrepreneurs writing the next chapter. You're not following change, you're leading it. Get inspired, network, and go for it. The economic revolution is here. Is your business ready?
The theme of BDC Small Business Week this year, and I think it's very apropos in a number of different ways, is the economic revolution is here. Get your business ready. And so that's the theme this year. And I can tell you, having spent 3 or 4 weeks in Australia and New Zealand, and then just back from the Canadian Chamber annual meeting and policy convention, is the disruption around the world. And the topic du jour is, even if people don't say the words Donald Trump and tariffs, it's the only thing that people like. It's the thing that's driving the conversation. And Canada's landscape is changing fast as a result of that. But also in this region, and in southwestern Ontario, and in particular regional Waterloo, we're growing fast. We're going to be 1 million people in 20 years. So that the landscape of the community is changing, the landscape of business is changing fast. What's one change you've already made or that you're planning to make to adapt to these structural shifts? Is there something you have to do to shift to serve your clients as a matter of what's happening around the globe?
I think for us in our industry, we're the tariff situation has been a bit of a distraction for us, just like COVID was a distraction when you're trying to focus on business strategy, business growth. So we're trying to stay up to speed on the now, tariff on, tariff off, what's this, what's that. We've spent some time advising clients or working with clients on different strategies where maybe it's time to open up a U.S. corp to avoid that. So now I got 2 entities. It's the only way this business model is going to work. And then for us, I think it's just sort of staying on top and listening to what's happening in social media and going to webinars and staying on top of what the now is, because you got to change quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no question, and I always ask this question now because the number one thing that I actually hear our members and small business in particular is that they're most kind of aware is out there and are trying to figure out how they fit into it is artificial intelligence. So
yes.
And so like it's a new technology. It's everyone understands it's already ChatGPT. So there's the obvious ones. But new technologies really are driving process improvements and changing business models. And, I guess the question that I really drive in at is you're in the service business of serving other clients. So you're not in manufacturing or in insurance specifically. Are you you're not in you're an advisory service to business. Is things like AI and technology changing the way you do work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've moved miles ahead in our profession from where we used to be, right? I used to talk to old buddies who were accountants. I had the green sheets of paper, and then I used to have QuickBooks, but it was on a computer that you had to go to. Now we've got software and online technology solutions that we can use. We talk in our firm about our tool belt. Right, just like a plumber has his tool belt, we have our tool belt. But our tool belt is software now, and what AI and software tools can we use to make our jobs easier? So we spend more time on analyzing numbers, providing advisory versus how do I get this stuff into the software before I can even look at it. So we're very much into these technologies. We have our industry has a conference coming up in November called Accountex. There's a lot of vendors there about AI and software technologies, and every year we've been going to understand. And we've got our own account manager for some of the bigger, Intuit firms and other software firms that we're staying on top of and being a partner with, so that we can understand this evolution of AI, ChatGPT. How do all these things talk to each other to make our lives easier, so that we can provide a better solution to our customer.
For those that you serve, so back to your clients, those changes in technology, and you're providing them with some advice of saying, like, how to finance new technology, which ones they may want to consider as process. Are you giving all of those types of? So you almost have to be an expert on what the latest is, and then translate that to what how your clients might use that. Is that one of the things you're doing?
Yeah, I think we look at we talk about ROI, return on investment, right? So we may not know all the software tools, but as we get into that strategic conversation, it becomes what's the ROI, right? What does that allow you to do as a business owner that you don't have to do anymore, that provides additional value or additional revenue or a solution tool to your business and your end state customer? So it's more of an ROI discussion. We'll spend some time understanding what the software AI technology can do. What's the result of integrating that into your business? And then what's the outcome?
Okay, so many small businesses watch and listen to the podcast. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs as they're looking to either start, because many will be listening to this and saying, I want to follow my passion. I don't want to be stuck in the corporate world. So they're going to start a business like you did, or scale their business. I mean, so there's that's the other part is, and again, back to BDC is saying you get to a point and say, how do I invest in my business to grow the business? Yeah. What advice would you give to those entrepreneurs that are doing business in our community and looking to grow and scale?
Yeah, I think there'd be sort of 2 points. One would be create your team and know your role. And sometimes, when we do business startups for some of our growth and our clients that we have been getting who want to incorporate or start their business, I sort of relate it to almost like a sport, like a football game, right? When you put your players out in the team, you know who the quarterback is, you know who the linebacker is. Create your team. And if you're the quarterback as the business owner, get out in the field and be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't try to be the quarterback and the linebacker and the defense and everything else. Know your role and create your team that creates that foundation for you to be strong and move forward. The second advice is people always say to me, Paul, we're looking for a business write-off. We're looking for more expenses. Maybe we could write off in our business. What can we do? Invest in you.
Yeah.
Go to webinars. Take courses. Invest in your team, right? Professional development is a great investment with a return on. It could mean another revenue vertical in your business. It could mean a different way to approach customer satisfaction. It could be opening or doing something different. But if you're not learning and growing, what are you doing, right? And so I think, sometimes it comes talking to me about some big expense I can write off and get a tax write-down. Yeah. Invest in you.
Yeah.
Spend some time investing with you and in your staff.
I think that's really important. I mean, we just talked about AI and it changing so fast. And we come from a community that has Conestoga College and the University of Waterloo and Wilfrid Laurier and all kinds of organizations that allow us to be lifelong learners. You have to be, because things are changing so fast in every business. And I think that's good advice, is invest in yourself and invest in your people, whether that's the formal training programs or the learning and TED Talks or whatever it happens to be.
Absolutely.
Listen, looking ahead, what's next? Because there's always a next chapter in business, right? It's is it I'm growing? Is it I've got hiring to do? Is it I'm going to a new market? What's next for your business? And so what's on the horizon?
Yeah, I think for us, we just opened up our third office in November of last year, so we're almost 1 year into our third office. For us, we've grown organically. We haven't had to put a lot of advertising into our growth. Thank God, knock on wood. It's been a lot of great, clients who've referred other clients to us.
The best advertising you can get.
You got it. So I think, we're on that same path. We're looking to continue to grow. We're always going to evolve and look at AI and technology to change and swap out tools in our tool belt. But our end state goal, our vision hasn't changed, to be a strategic solution partner to the small, medium-sized business owner. That hasn't changed, and we'll continue to focus on that as we go forward. We'll grow our team, like we've said, and as we grow, we'll grow our team, and we'll have fun.
That's great. Listen, this podcast is always a little bit about the story, as I said, but it's also about leadership. So I asked the same set of questions, and there's no right or wrong answer, but it helps to give an insight of how people kind of are viewing themselves or business. So in a rapid fire question segment, say, if you could go back, click your heels, and go back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
I should have done this sooner.
Really? Yeah.
Yep, I would have. And I should have done it sooner, and learn your role, play your role. Okay,
this is always interesting. Different things are the motivator or the inspiration for folks. What or who has inspired you most along your way?
My family. Yeah. If I wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and I know I got a 8-9 o'clock meeting, but it's my family. Annie, my wife, the kids, and to some degree, the clients, right? They're no different than me. They're a small business owner.
Yeah.
You got to put food on the table. When we talk to some of our staff, we try to share with them the impact they make. When you're working with a client, you're not just dealing with the client. You're dealing with the client's staff, the client's lifestyle, the personal side. It's just not numbers in a spreadsheet or a balance sheet or income statement. You're making a longer-term impact on that business potential, right? And the amount of hands and people that are impacted by how you advise or how you support that business structure, you don't understand sometimes.
Yeah, and that's important. It's people's lives, people's jobs. If you weren't in the career you are now, it's funny because you were in a different career. You've started your own business, but if you weren't doing what you're doing right now in your current career, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
it's hard to say, yeah, when I grew up, my father taught me that it wasn't all about education, right? Be smart, but he also taught me how to work on underneath the hood of a car,
Yeah.
how to repipe a house, thing. So I was taught to use my hands,
Yeah.
as well as use my brain and go to
Yeah.
school. So for me, I love in my spare time to be under the hood of a car.
Wow.
Car enthusiast. Who knows? Maybe I'd be in the car business,
mechanic,
automotive
yeah,
business.
car business. Well, that's
Who
good.
knows?
That's good.
But for me, it have to be dealing with people in some type of advisory type of function. I love working with people.
You know, it's interesting. The last place you'd find me is under a hood because I'd probably lose fingers and digits and not know what I was doing. But using your other side of the brain, right?
You got it.
Hands-on. That's great. Are you reading a book or are you listening to a podcast on a regular basis? What do you do to kind of keep yourself?
Yeah,
current?
I think for us, it's been on the AI whole data chat GPT stuff. So we've been focusing a lot on that. Listening to some of these webinars on the tariff. We would try to keep up to speed, whether it's through LinkedIn, through other webinars, seminars, podcasts, et cetera, to stay on top of the ever-changing business paradigm, and making sure that we're in the know so that we can stay on top of how do we support and provide solutions to our clients.
Well, you can always listen to Business on 570 News Radio at
Ian.
noon on Sundays because we always give the latest update on that. Listen, you're local here. What's your favorite local businesses? A restaurant, or what do you do? Where do you what is one of your go-to places?
So one of our go-to places for the wife and I and the kids is Adventure Rooms over on Duke Street.
Yeah.
We love the escape room environment. I will say that Lisa's also a client, but that's not why I'm saying this. We love the experience. It's funny when you get the family, the six of us, locked in there for an hour and trying to get out, and the meeting of the minds on who's got the right strategy. It's good family time.
Yeah.
It brings us together to strategize and try and get out. We've even done group events with our staff, and we've broken up into two teams. And then it becomes the battle of the wits of who's getting out first and who's the smarter one to get out first. So Adventure Rooms, from an experience perspective and, collaborating and bringing a family or a staff or team together, love it.
Now, I'm interested because I had a family of three brothers. So there's six of us. What do you have? Boys, girls?
So Annie and I were a blended family. 2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys, 2 girls.
You got it.
Four boys getting together, there was less cooperation.
Oh no, there's balance on there.
There was always that was interesting dynamics in those days. Where's the best place for people if they want to get to know you, the business, get to know you and Annie and your team? What's the best way for them to connect with you or learn more about your work?
Call us on our Kitchener number, and we have a website.
What's the website?
www.atumfs.com.
Perfect. Okay, and you know what? Please, thank you. We're pleased to have you with us today. We know how valuable, entrepreneurs' time is probably it is the most valuable thing they have because it's the most precious and thing that's short as far as a commodity. So thank you for spending some of your precious time with us today.
Thanks for having me, Ian. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Behind the Business, proudly presented by Gore Mutual. Thanks again to BDC for this special Small Business Week episode. We're celebrating all week and dropping a new episode each day. You can also visit greaterkwchamber.com to catch up on past episodes anytime. We'll see you next